welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time here, welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about making some modifications to our garage. What we find is on moving day, we have things that we need to secure in the garage, but we have no real way to secure it other than the little loops in the floor. And when we finally get our toy, those loops are going to be taken up tying down the toy, if they're even big enough for that. So what we're doing is we're putting some railing on the walls of the garage that will allow us to clip in. We've got these straps here that clip in to the rail, and we'll get to show a picture of that here in a few minutes. I've already got one mounted. We're going to show a video here now of how we go about determining where to put the holes to mount it up with and getting it mounted and so forth. So the first thing I've got here, I've got an item called a Wallabot. It is just it's a stud finder that works with your phone. I've got an early generation one. They've got much better ones out now. They're about $80 to $100 for the high-end ones, maybe a little bit more, I don't remember. But at any rate, what they do, they allow you to find the studs in your wall. And I'm going to go over here where there's a little bit more light so you can see it. When you're going along, there's this little gray line here. That is actually a metal stud in the wall. As I keep going along here, it will show me up. Okay, that purple line there was a wire. There's a wire in the wall there. And then that's my metal stud. And it tells you basically exactly when you're centered on it. When I put my screws on, they self-tap right in. So you run this thing across the wall and find the stud work. Okay, this one here is going to be, and it's kind of tough. When you're between metal and metal, it kind of gets a little bit confused, especially this early gentleman. But right here somewhere, I was catching a stud. I'm not sure exactly where the studs are over here because of this. I know if I go over here, now there's a stud right there at the edge of my electrical outlet. There should be an electrical circuit there too, but there's not. That's weird. Again, this is an early gen, so let's see if I can find any stud work in here to mount my next one on. I want to put one here under this window because this is where my pack-out toolbox straps in. Okay, there's a stud. Right there centered. I'm going to probably have to put these up in here with some molly bolts as well. There's a stud right there, so I can mount it that way. Okay, so we need a pencil now.
Take that.
Give me a pencil.
I gotta go get one.
Gotta get it. Julie's got to go get a pencil for us here.
Yeah.
So we can mark this. And what we're going to do, we're just going to mark center. Let me get you down here again. We're going to mark center of where this stud work comes up on my from the Wallabot, and then we can actually find. It's hard to hold two things at once here. Let's see. Is that going to be? See, this is not really giving me an exact center, so I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but it's going to be in here. There may be two studs back here because this is the tail end of the rig, so there may be a couple of different studs back here.
On it with the camera.
Yeah, here. Well, hold your camera while you're trying to mark your. There. That way you can. Yeah, you can do the filming and I can do this. Let me go ahead and turn my headlight on so we can see what we're getting into here. That maybe.
Yeah, that makes it so I can see it.
Okay, so let's say. Okay, we lose it right there. We gain it there, but unfortunately, it's not telling me where it's centered. So I'm going to guess there may be two of them right next to each other here. So if I do this. I'm going to mark it a little bit right there as far as, okay, right there is an outside edge. And right there is an outside edge. Now I've got my screw head here holding our shades in place, so I can probably put a screw for my racking anywhere in there. And then I go across here, and you don't have to hold your phone up against the Wallabot here. That's not necessary as long as you've got the Wallabot up against the wall. You're fine. And we've got a puppy dog in here that's not happy because there are some other people in one of the storage sites here close to us, and she's going crazy because there's somebody else here and she's worried about it. But anyway, I am not getting anything there stud-wise. There's got to be something else in this wall but I can't seem to find it. There's one. There probably won't be anything under this window because, yeah, the window's in the way. But there would likely, there we go. There's got to be one. There's got to be one right here at the edge to this plug. And this is here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my next rail here. And these rails are too long. I'm going to have to cut this rail down. But if I put it up over here, right up against my happy jack, and I bring it over here, it's not going to meet that next stud work. But if I bring it out just a little bit, well, actually, this hole right here is going to put it right where I need it from this standpoint. So I may end up having to put this, going to the hardware store and getting some molly bolts for this and putting several mollies to hold it up because I don't trust it with anything a whole lot less than mollies. But right here is going to be the center spot of where I want to cut this. There we go. Okay. So at this point in time, I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. Now here's the way you got an easy way to cut this. Milwaukee, it's a M12, it's a 12 volt cutoff tool, and it works with, this particular blade is for metal, I've got one for plastic, I've got one for PVCs and stuff. I'm going to get some for wood as well, but this metal one is about worn out. But this little 12 volt Milwaukee cutoff tool is absolutely wonderful for cutting this. And to prove that, let me just set this toolbox up here a little bit differently. Let me take my stuff out of the way. That won't go down in there. Oh, there we go.
You need to.
I'm going to take this out on the deck because we have a toy haul right here. Now, I'm going to need Julie's help here. Probably. She's definitely got to be here to film me, so whatever. But
come on, I gotta get up.
this is going to make some noise, by the way, folks. And she's got the camera pointed at the ground. This is what happens when you move around and you're not doing a professional job. By the way, we are not doing professional jobs here. We don't intend to be doing professional camera jobs. And we don't really know how to edit that well yet. So quite frankly, this is raw video. Please understand that when you're watching it. And understand we're just trying to give you some information without trying to be professional about it as far as videography is concerned. But this little cutting blade is just going to go right through this in theory. Let's see. Yep. There we go.
Sparks.
Sparks. Lots of sparks, lots of noise. I am wearing my eyeglasses. It's not really protective eyewear, but it's better than nothing. I don't have goggles with me here. I really should have some goggles here. But goggles and prescription eyewear don't always work well together. You almost have to have prescription goggles. And we're through. And that's how easy it is to cut this stuff. Now, yes, you could cut this with a handheld hacksaw. You could cut this with a 7 1/4 inch saw with the right blade on it. You could cut this off with a chop saw if you've got it. Most people don't have any of those things, and in fact, most people probably don't have this Milwaukee. So a hand hacksaw will work fine. It's just this Milwaukee is faster. Now, I'm also beveling the edges. So that it doesn't have sharp edges to cut somebody or something. As you can see here, what I did with that is if you come in real close here, I angled that edge off a little bit using the thing, and I can run my finger across it and it doesn't cut me. So there is method to my madness there. I'm also going to put that fresh cut edge that I cut down back here where it's not likely to get against anything, because the factory cut edges are much more precise, as it were. Now you can see that this is going to go up just about right where I want it. Right here's the this screw hole here is right about middle of where my studs should be, and right on that. And then up here I will just have to bolt it up with some molly bolts, and I'll probably put 3 or 4 of them across it. There's that, and I've got, yeah, okay. Now I also use a Milwaukee 1/4" hex impact to do this stuff with. You can use a drill, you can use something like these impacts. Most people have a hand drill, put a bit holder in it, and use these happen to be 5/16 headed self-tapping bolts, just a socket. And it drops. So we're going to have help holding this up here. There we go. Let me get it recentered over the bolt hole right there. You can see it was giving me a little bit of difficulty going in, which means I am on a stud. And once it went through that stud, then it just kind of drops in real quick and starts threading, and that's when you know that you need to just back off and let it be, and do it gently. Don't keep forcing it into it. Just back off and let it screw itself in. There. And on this end we will have to molly bolt it in, but that's okay. I wonder if I can do, if these will actually hold into anything. I'm going to put a molly bolt here anyway, so
I would put one here, but
let me see what happens here. Oh, it's going to hold it up. There may be some kind of a framework here to frame this window, which would be nice. Yeah, there's no framework there to hold this, so that's just going to be there as a placeholder for the time being. But there's definitely some framework up here that I've gotten into good. So I really only need probably a couple of mollies here in the middle to help hold it, and we should be all right, because this is really only going to be holding up my pack-out toolbox system on travel days, and they really don't slide around and mess around too badly anyway.
knife.
Knife. Got to get my knife. For those of you who don't understand that, it's a knife. That's just being silly. And the one that I'm using here is razor blade type, and the razor blade is dull. But these just essentially set down in. Actually, you got to push them in up this way, set them down in, and let the lever go, and they're in place. And then this strap goes around. They're quite long.
Longer than I thought.
And the other end, it's just a ratchet strap ratchet. But again, grab the little lever, up, in, down, and in place. And now you got your ratchet, and everything works. And then to take it out, you just pull the lever back, pull it up, drop it out, pull it out, push it up, drop it out, and everything is out. We can do these on the floor, we can do them on the walls this way, we can do them on the wall vertically. If you've got taller things that you need to strap in, you can certainly strap them in with these on a vertical, as long as you're hitting your studs correctly. So yeah, that's the video for today. Let me turn my headlight off here so I don't blind anybody now, so I can stop blinding people. Well, if I can get a hold of the switch.
Just wave your hand in front of it.
No, I didn't.
There you go.
There we go. Now it's off. So that's how we do this. It's really not difficult. It does take a little bit of planning, because you need to be able to screw it into stud work, or you need to figure out where you need to get molly bolts or some other kind of wall anchors that are going to hold it where you need it to be. My hair probably looks like a wreck now because, yeah, my hat was on and then my headband light was on. But at any rate, this is the modification we're making. My pack-out toolbox will sit right here. I'll just take the strap, go around it, and it will stay in place. It won't move on moving day. These will hold it perfectly fine. And It makes a nice little modification to the garage. Harbor Freight sells these fairly cheap. Sometimes you might have to wait for them to have them in stock. I had to wait about a month and a half for them to get them back in stock because they were out, due to everything being short supply right now. But they do work. I'm going to put some on the other side, all the way around the garage. I'm going to put some of these so that I can strap things in place as we go. I planned
Can
on...
we strap her in place?
No, she's going to ride in the truck with us.
Come here.
I do plan on having a roll-away toolbox and other tools in my rig when I'm on the road, so I do have to have a place to strap them down and make sure they don't roll around. And that was the whole idea of this. And then we're probably going to get a trike or something to go in the middle, and that'll strap down to the floor and we'll be ready to go. But I will probably use these latch downs for everything, simply because they just work. With that, that's today's video. Thank you for staying with us. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the little bell to make sure you get all the notifications of our new content. Recommend this to your friends, and comment on it to make sure that Google understands that we're trying to do a help for people, so that they will help promote our work to others as well. Thank you, and have a great day.